It's a battle in the mind's eye being waged by Peter Parker and Otto Octavius, who will come out victorious this time and earn the right to call themselves the Superior Spider-Man? Well, let's hop into the pages of Superior Spider-Man issue number 4 and find out together, shall we? Alrighty then, so when we left off with this story, you'll remember that Otto had pulled the old fast one on Pete, making it seem as though he was on the level trying to help him rescue Anne-Marie, when in reality he was just trying to back Peter into a corner so that he could once again try and hijack his body. Because the more things change, the more they stay the same, am I right? In a very nice bit of characterization, Peter is sure to say, you know what, you're kinda dumb for a genius thinking that this is gonna work on me again. And honestly, it's just nice to see Peter being written as a smart guy who went out of his way to create a bunch of mental security protocols to make sure no other villain could take his body for a years-long joyride the way Otto did. Doc Ock is of course absolutely full of himself, saying that no matter what security measures Peter put in place, it's nothing that he can't overcome. Otto launches the full salvo, summoning up a psychic version of the Sinister 600, but Peter is sure to meet him blow for blow by summoning up psychic versions of his closest friends and allies. Again, two really wonderful back-to-back splash pages here. What really makes this work for me though is the fact that Peter doesn't want to fight. He knows full well that the longer they sit around playing happy slaps with each other is another moment that poor Anne-Marie is at the mercy of the vengeful supernova. So instead of treading old ground where they fight inside Peter's mind, Spider-Man says that they should just skip to the end and have this be one big final mano-a-mano bout, good versus evil, with Peter's body hanging in the balance. And what better venue for this psychic battle than the wrestling arena wherein Peter first donned a mask and used his powers to overcome a foe. Again, I feel like I should have more wrestling jokes right here, yet sadly I do not. Oh, no wait, I got one. I mean, say what you want about Spider-Man as a hero, but as a worker, he had no ring psychology, man. Just a lot of flippy shit. No fundamentals, brother. Now, as the battle continues, we actually see a very cool bit of art wherein with every hit, Spider-Man and Octopus's costumes evolve, matching where they were at different eras. A vengeful Ock also continues to harangue Peter, saying that he was always the better Spider-Man, that he was only in his body for a short amount of time, but he already did way more than Peter has done in, well, a very long time. And that the only reason he gave up the body was to try and save his love, Anne-Marie. And hey, speaking of Anne-Marie, where is she at right now? You'll be happy to hear that she actually managed to escape Supernova all on her own. And she managed to do so without throwing a punch too. She basically just aggravated Supernova's own case of claustrophobia and used it to get her to fly off into space long enough for her to pick the locks of her cell. Yeah, you know what? I can see why Otto would fall in love with this woman. Super resourceful, doesn't need to be saved herself just fine. Peter is sure to get in some good verbal jabs along with the regular jabs, saying that when Otto had his back up against the wall, he was sure to give Peter back control of his body because he knew at the end of the day he was the Superior Spider-Man. It is, after all, the final lesson that Otto was forced to learn all the way back when he first took control of his body, and now, despite again saying that he is such a genius, he is just dedicated to having to learn this lesson all over. Otto argues now that he made a mistake in returning Peter's body to himself. After all, Peter was only able to defeat the King Green Goblin back in that story because he made use of all of Ock's inventions. Maybe if Ock had just believed in himself a little bit more back then, it would have made all the difference in the world, but of course, we'll never truly know, will we? Still though, Doc Ock's anger is truly palpable, and it ends up hurtling him towards what might very well have been a victory if Peter didn't end up getting saved by, well, Uncle Ben, but not a mental projection of Uncle Ben like we saw before. This Uncle Ben actually belongs to the whole other set of memories that Peter absorbed when he lived a whole other life in another Dan Slott story from not too long ago. I didn't actually read this one, but the fans were nice enough to get me up to speed. Basically, Peter ended up living a whole other life where he didn't become Spider-Man, but still ended up being a good guy and a hero, once again proving his claim that he is indeed the Superior Spider-Man. You know, proving that there's more important things than being a hero, than being Spider-Man, that the true weight of a man is, well, what Uncle Ben had always been saying, to use your power and responsibility. Peter ends up winning the battle in the mind's eye, but the fight isn't over. Once again, Peter shows why he truly is the superior hero by actually going and extending an olive branch of peace to Ock. He's not blind, he knows this guy is absolutely crazy about Anne-Marie, and he knows that he would do anything to save her, but again, he also suffers from poor self-image, and he's more than a little stuck in the past. This is why Peter says that Otto will be the one to save Anne-Marie, but he won't do it as Spider-Man, and he'll do it as Dr. Octopus. And it's on that note right there the comic comes to an end, everybody, and so that was Superior Spider-Man issue number 4, a fun, if familiar feeling little issue, one that the heroes themselves are sure to lampshade by saying, hey, haven't we done this sort of thing in the past? And indeed they have, many times. But the actual hard character work that Dan Slott is doing here and the moral of the story they're trying to get to I can certainly get behind, and that is for Otto Octavius to continue to grow and change and really embrace being a hero. He needs to embrace doing it himself and not just falling back on the familiar that is being the Superior Spider-Man, which is a very funny lesson to learn in a book called Superior Spider-Man, but hey, there it is. The last 2 issues have basically been about Otto trying to relearn the very important lesson that he only gleaned at the end of the original Superior Spider-Man storyline, so to have Dan Slott put a new little extra twist and amend him on top of it, I can definitely appreciate. Honestly, I don't know how long this book is supposed to be, but if Ock actually does manage to get his act together, show Anne-Marie that he is dedicated to change and be a better person, then what the hell is volume 2 of this series gonna look like? I don't know, but I'm definitely interested enough to come back and see what it's all about. Overall, I'd give this one a 7.5 out of 10. The story beats are familiar, but certainly well worn for a reason, and I definitely had fun reading this one, even if I was a little late actually getting out the video, and I hope you all enjoyed it too. We really are living in a golden age of Spider-Man books for every book other than The Amazing Spider-Man.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me in the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.